Welcome everybody, you're tuned in to the next episode of Agile Toolkit tutorial. Your hosts are, as always, Romans and myself, Armin. If you enjoyed this tutorial, you will find all of the series on our website, that is agiletooolkit.org/tutorial. Today we want to talk about how Agile Toolkit operates with JavaScript and AJAX, and also we are looking at Agile Toolkit add-ons. We will build our RON add-on, and we'll use an existing add-on for image uploads. And there is more that we talk about. But now let me introduce you to Romans, the very developer of Agile Toolkit. Romans, to you.
Hi, and thank you, Armin. So me and Armin are working on an application which is publicly available. You can download and install it on your environment, which is called Lost and Found. And with this application, we try to solve the problem of people who lose or find items. And just it is going to be like database for registering lost items and then looking if your item is in there or not.
And what we have achieved so far is we have created a list for all items that have been lost. We have a form to report an item there. Yeah. Then we have an admin section where we have like a little back end that shows us all the activity on the website. And we have user preferences where the user can change his data that he signed up with. So
yeah, we also have a registration page and a logging page, of course.
So let's log in.
Okay. Okay.
And the first thing we need as a base for today's goal that we want to achieve, we need to create a new page that is the details page for an item. Remember, we already can report an item, but and we can show all the items that have been reported, but we now need a page where we can see all the details of the item that has been reported. And I think we start with creating this new page. Like, it doesn't exist at this point. We get an error message.
Yeah, okay. Some plugin for Sublime decided not to work, which I use to create files usually. Okay, so it's items list details. And of course, there are two ways how we can create this page. It could be either a separate page in a separate file, or it can also be a subpage of existing page. Which one you think we should create, Armin?
Well, let's imagine that our details page will have a lot of functionality down the road, so I think we should create a new page instead of a subpage.
Okay. So the one note on the subpages is that, for example, if you have the page which relies on a couple of additional subpages, such as maybe details, you would have a couple of tabs in there and maybe some pop-ups and so on. It makes sense to put them all together in single file, and this is where the ability to create subpages comes in. For now, we'll just create a separate page. What is the macro?
And like always, the basic thing is the class that extends the page class.
Yes, on this page, we can approach it in two ways. First of all, you see there's ID in there. Let's load the model. And then we can use that model either with a form and make it read-only, so only the fields are presented, but you cannot change them. Or we can create a custom template and populate the custom template with the values. Both ways would work properly. And if others have suggestions which direction we should take, please let us know in a chat. For now, I'll just create the model. Loading model at the start of the page also is important. Okay, hold on, what's the matter? Title.
Yeah, here is called title.
Yeah, so loading your model at the start of this page is important because sometimes user might put an unexisting ID here, and right now it comes up as a base exception. But what we will do at some later stages is we will hide all the exceptions for the production, and instead it would be either a redirect or a page not found or some other page. But we're not going to show error messages to the user. And the way we control that is by using a logger controller, which I will show later. So which I should go with?
Well, I think we just populate the page with the information that is in the database for this special item, like the title, the description.
Okay. Okay, so with a custom template.
Yes.
Okay, if anyone have any question, what is this and why is this, and do let me know. Can I change slightly? If oh no, it's all right. Page. I'm gonna call it like this. Did we rename our templates?
Pardon?
Yeah, we renamed our templates skin. Lost and found. Okay, so here we define the basic outline of the page. And did we explain about the grid already?
No.
Okay, when we were talking last time, and I was saying Agile Toolkit has a default CSS.
Oh, you mean the 12 grid system? Yeah, we briefly touched that.
Right. So I'm planning to split the page into two sections with this, and will not stop here for a long time. Just create a sidebar on the right. Okay, and what I can do is let's say I have item in here. So I'm creating an outline for the page. I'd like to have item details in here. Later I will have some something on the sidebar, and at the bottom at some point I will want to create a comment bar, comments. That would be my outline for item details.
It's
Do you see the problem?
Would it look in the templates default folder rather than the templates lost and found folder?
Yeah, I think I know what the problem is. And I did switch the branch, and it switched to the default theme. Because I forgot to merge the branch last time.
Hello, Immense.
Okay, now we should have everything correctly. And there we have our layout. So when we're designing layout, what we probably can do is put some placeholders in here. Item info goes here, and on the sidebar, let's again have something like sidebar, and inside the comments as well. Just some words to see that it actually being laid out around here. And the next thing I'm gonna do here is I will add some tags inside the item. Okay, what other do we have? Description.
Description. And possibly we have a date when it was like when it was reported.
Date, okay, created. Okay, let's have that for now. And obviously nothing in there at the moment. So right now, just let me explain a little bit about this template here. So this is a page template which is being associated with the whole page, but I can use this area of item to the view which is going to display more information about the item, and I can put some other stuff still in the sidebar and in the comments. So basically what I'm doing is adding a view, just generic view. I will specify this goes into item, and the last argument is a template which is usually an array, but this time I'm not going to use array, and I'm going to say item again. So what this will instruct Agile Toolkit to do is to take the contents of this item, assign it to the view, and then put it back in this place. So as you can see, nothing have much changed here, but if I add some text like blah, you see it simply appears as before. This is because by default view doesn't do much to this template. In fact, it doesn't do at all. Item, and I need to populate it from the model. Which I can do in this fashion. Template. Okay, now I have, let me delete this blah, but as you can see, my title of item and detail have been populated. The created field was probably empty, and that's why it is not appearing here. Okay, that's the basic item information in here. Okay, so what next?
So I think we could touch now a little bit of JavaScript if we would add something that gives the user the possibility to flag an item. Imagine if somebody like posts an item, well, I lost my porn movie, probably this is an item that we don't want to see on Lost and Found. So people should be able to flag an item to make us aware that something is wrong with it. How would we approach that?
Okay, and I will start by adding probably a simple object, doesn't matter what it is, inside our next slot sidebar here. This and it really doesn't matter what it actually is. It either a button or a string or paragraph. It doesn't matter at this point. I will create a button just for the convenience, and I will specify sidebar here. So it's not appearing. with everything else, but it goes on the right. It's called sample button, and I will say flag. Yeah, for whatever reason, flag. As you can see, when I click on the button, nothing happens. And this is where I'm going to start explaining to you about the JavaScript integration. So far we have been working with models and views, and there was also the SQL at some point. But the way how Agile Toolkit integrates with JavaScript is truly unique, because it provides this special object which we call jQuery chain, and this is this object, and any method you call on this object is going to become a JavaScript call. Let me start by vgs hide, and I will also put true here for now. And what happens? The button is now hidden, but it's hidden with JavaScript. This is already GS chain. I'll try to echo it as well. See if I can get it out. Okay, so there it is. This is the instruction which was generated by this line here and executed. So you can see that it used the selector for this button on the right, and it called jQuery method hide. And this is the fundamental, probably the most easiest form of JavaScript you could come up with. And if I'm not echoing it, it executes by the way, because I have specified true in here.
So true means that this JavaScript gets executed no matter what?
That's right. And there are several things to every jQuery chain. The first is, of course, selector. When you're typing something in jQuery UI, you start by saying what selector it is, and then you decide what it needs to be done with that selector. In Agile Toolkit, you can use any view as a selector, and by default, it will assign the proper ID. This is why every view in Agile Toolkit needs to have a unique ID, so that when you create, when you assign something as a chain, JavaScript chain on it, it will know which ID to use. And with this button, it also works. It did hide our button. So that's the first component. The second component is event, which we just use true in here. But it can be also something else, such as on click. In this case, I would write something like this. I'm gonna hide this for now. And it would mean that the button will disappear when I click it. When I click the button, it disappears. Okay, could be other events such as hover, or you can even use your own events, test 1, 2, 3, which you can actually trigger manually. That's the second event. And the third component is actions. And in our case, action is only hide. What else we could do? Let's say fade out, which are all the jQuery UI default things. Also, we can use the methods which will somehow change the selector, such as I can use closest ATK row. Yeah, and if you remember, inside our template, we had this div with class ATK row. So we'd like to find the closest one and fade it out. So now, when I hover over the button, this whole area will be faded out, except commands, because commands is not inside ATK row. Okay, so and of course there can be multiple things in here, one by one. One other thing I can use is let's say text ABC. Now if I move my mouse over, it will change the text of the button to ABC. It doesn't really work properly, because we probably need to search for some span inside the button there. but for now it's all right, I suppose. You can change it to a paragraph, or actually let's change it into a link, or leave as a button. I don't know, I can decide. I'll make it a paragraph. So I move over the paragraph and change text. Now inside here, let's say by some evil means we got a bit of JavaScript injection here, saying script alert 1. The good thing about this approach is that all the parameters to this JavaScript is being properly escaped, and even if we use something like that, it wouldn't get out. It will all be it will all look properly, and it will do exactly what needs to be done. So again, as a developer, you have assurance that there is no possibility of JavaScript injection, even if you simply use a get argument in here, get parameter. This is kind of really safe. It's being properly prepared for the output. And one other thing is that instead of just strings, you can use arrays as well, which are properly converted into JavaScript notation. I don't know if this will work. Well, it works. If I look at the page source now, I will see this section. This, yeah. So this is what happens when I hover over this region. It will change to the ABC, and as you see, there are square brackets around it, which is a JavaScript way of creating arrays. I can also let's see, do associations like this. Page source. Okay, and now we have a hash inside this method. So everything we write in a PHP will properly be reflected in there as a JavaScript code. That's the basic principle.
So what we want to achieve here is when the button is clicked, we want to flag the item. So we probably need to build a database table. I think we did that already, where the information that the item was flagged is stored.
Yeah, we prepared a new table just for that, which is item flag. And if this entry exists, that means that particular user have flagged this particular item. But what we need at this point is some way for JavaScript communicate back to the front end and tell that someone is in fact clicked this button. And one way is if we do a click handler, we could then trigger the request to the PHP side. But before we go there, I need to introduce you to the universal chain and universal JavaScript library and explain to you what it is. In JavaScript, if you don't know JavaScript very well, you probably are used to simply going inside HTML like this and then writing script function my funds alert 1 2 3 and writing something like that. Maybe it's not a very good way, especially as you have more and more JavaScript code in there. It is somewhere in the examples, but it's still possible to use this with Agile. And let me show you how. On click, you can specify the second argument, my like this. It will, if I click the flag now, it will trigger that function. 1, 2, 3. The better way is if you create a separate class and define all your function in there. So this is like a library, and you populate it with different things. But now we also need to be able to plug this this library inside, associated with some other object, or have it like a global identifier, how we can reference it. And Agile Toolkit does this by having a univ chain.
What does univ stand for? Is it some kind of abbreviation?
It is short for universal. So as you can see, there are a lot of different functions in here, like alert, timeout, redirects, log, errors, confirms, and so on. And these things are pretty general by what can be used for. Let's see something we could there is success message, and if you remember, we have been using this function before, and the way how we do that is by calling univ method on any JavaScript, on any jQuery selector, and then using success message method here. So now when I click on the same flag here, you see this box coming up, and the reason why it does is because this message is called, and then it does all the necessary preparation and execution to display that message in there. So that's one of the ways how we're using general function. But what we need now is ability to extend this universal chain. Or no, for now we don't need to extend, but we need to use another function, which is called IExec. And what this function does, it sends a request to PHP, and then the response received from the PHP is going to be executed as a JavaScript, very similar to how the form does it. And again, this is a standard pattern in Agile Toolkit. So I'm gonna do this, and just to distinguish if it's a sub-select or the main select, I'm going to add additional parameter. Call it flag, and the parameter will be 1. Later, if the request is being made to this page with the argument flag, I'm going to, well, for now, let's say alert 1, 2, 3. This is what I want to produce, and I will exit right after. Yeah, so it's not affected right now, but if I click on flag, okay, I've got this error message, which means we couldn't load the ID here, because when we create this URL, we didn't specify the ID here, like ID get ID, so it's not lost. Okay, now I click on the flag. This time it sends a request to the PHP side, which generates a bit of JavaScript and is being executed on the front end.
Could we achieve the same thing by making the ID a sticky get?
Yeah, so Agile Toolkit provides a method of making certain get arguments sticky. Which means that any subsequent calls to the URL function will automatically include the current value of this argument. So now it still works.
And it's probably a more elegant approach, so we don't have to take care about is the ID placed there or not. Can you please specify a bit more, talk a bit more about this URL method? What are the parameters and why is the first one null?
Okay, let me move this function in here into variable so I can demonstrate what is being produced there. Okay, if I echo URL like this, you will see that it contains a proper link to our current page, which is list details, with the ID and flag now. So, but if I do get class of the URL, you will see that this is actually an object. This is object of type URL. And the reason is we can continue to interact with this object. Let me try to remember some functions now. Use, okay, so for example, if I call use absolute URL on this object, it will instead give me the full URL, including HTTPS and my domain here. This is handy if you're sending out emails and you want to include the link to your current page or some other page. Then you can use this method in here. Also, as I saw that when I'm echoing it, it automatically converts into the string. And this is basically what happens here. So I'm specifying this URL object inside AJAX and it converts it into the string.
Okay, and if the first parameter of URL is set to nil, it just takes the actual page.
It's the same page. If I specify a slash, for example, it will point towards index page. If it's logout, would point towards logout page, and so on and so on.
Yes, and so on.
Yeah. Also, you can use relative page. If I specify 2 dots, and I'm being on details page, it will use item/list, which is a parent of details page.
Yes.
That's useful if you're creating some relative page structures.
Yes.
With subpages. For now, I'm gonna use the same page. Okay. The next question is: we have alert in here. How can we know which ID? So let's put ID in here. Yeah, so if I click on flag, okay, let me, yeah, I got this problem here because I had echo in my code and I need to get rid of this. Okay, now I click on flag and it says ID number 1 because we're looking at the object number 1. Armin, can you spot the problem in here? What is the potential danger in this?
Well, the potential danger would be somebody could be very nasty and include in the get parameter some kind of, I don't know, JavaScript, JavaScript things or MySQL things. I don't know.
Yeah. So in a get parameter could be, let's say, closing bracket and then some other code which steals a cookie from the user. But the thing here is because we're loading this ID in the model before, it is kind of still safe for us to let it into structure like this. So it's not too bad. It's not nice, but it's still not too bad because this load is protecting us. Okay, even if I specify flag equals yes in here and now I get this alert. If I try to do some code injection like blind here, I'm getting this error about model not being able to load.
Okay.
So that's one way of protect. And of course, the other way is not use the JavaScript in here, but instead rely on the same chains as we did before. So I'm going to use the same v object, gs univ alert, and as an argument I will use the get ID. Now we are completely safe, and the method execute will do two things. First of all, it will output the chain and it will perform exit, so I don't need to do the exit. Okay, it also tries to detect if the request was sent either directly or using the jQuery UI, or using jQuery. And you see, even though I put the flag in here, it didn't drag to it. But if I click, it actually shows me one. So it is just being a bit more smarter, and execute only stops execution if it really was requested by the AJAX method here. So what should we do with the model here if we would like to flag it? First of all, we probably need to create an entry in a flag database, in a flag table. Should we just call model flag?
With the
yeah, move the functionality in the business logic inside the model.
Yes.
Okay, and here I'd like to say success message saying the item have been flagged. Now I need to go into the model of model item and implement another method, which is going to be called flag. Okay, so what I need to do here is create a new model item flag, then set user ID to this API, which is the ID of currently logged in user, and a second is item ID, and we set it to the current entry inside this item table. After that, we need to save this model for item flag. Okay, and I believe we did create the table for item flag, but we don't have a model for it yet. So we'll need to create a model. It has one user and it has item. Okay. We need to synchronize this.
Yep.
So it is in our should I also record this table creation script somewhere in case someone already have a database?
Yes.
So I'll put it inside doc. Dates. Lost. Okay, and I will also remove this the database prefix, which MySQL workbench puts everywhere, and I don't really appreciate that. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's go back here, and also I will bring up this other tool which is called SQL Pro, and it's a application for Mac which allows me to browse my tables and see what's inside. This is a user table, item table, and item flag table is currently empty. So an easy way for me to see what's inside my tables. I'm clicking on flag, it says item has been flagged. And as you can see, there is an entry here for user ID 3, item ID 1. So it did flag the item. And I think could improve it a little bit visually, but more or less the functionality is achieved with this. Okay, let's make it a button. Plug this item. Okay, so
the thing needed for here, of course, the button should only be shown if the logged in user hasn't already flagged this item.
Okay. Okay, so we'll need to think, first of all, how to hide the button when the user clicks on it. And the second thing is how not to display the button if the user doesn't, if the user already flagged it. For now, let's hide the button. And in this situation, we need to perform multiple actions here at this point. The execute can only be done once. Once the execute is found, it will stop the execution. So if we create 2 lines like this, the second line will never be executed. Thankfully, inside the GS element, first one is null, which doesn't matter at this point because it's being when we call execute, it doesn't look what kind of event it's assigned to. It will simply return the whole chain. But the second argument is can be specified as any other GS. And I'm gonna use the variable GS here. And let's hide the button. So the button is called V, yeah, V. Okay, and then just simply hide. Okay, so in here you see GS, sorry. When I call this, the GS method returns a new object to me of the type jQuery chain, and then I'm gonna call it method hide, which simply remembers this in some internal structure of this jQuery chain, but this object is still returned. This is kind of very similar to DSQL, how we used to call where and from, and it would simply enhance the object, and it's not gonna produce a new object. And the same in this occasion, we assign that into the GS variable, and we can pass inside another chain, which then is going to contain both actions. So it's going to combine actions from multiple chains. And finally, we could use the array here, GS, GS2, GS3, and so on. If more than one action needs to be embedded, this is how you can do it. Okay, so for now, if I click an item, I see this thing coming up, and the button is disappearing as well. But if I reload it, I still see it. What can we try to do to get rid of this? How about if inside the item we create a relation here, this has many flag, item flag. Okay, this on its own will not change anything. And but I can what can I do here? I can do item ref flag, which returns a model for the flag now. Try load any, load it, and I'm going to output the result of this. So what happens now? I'm taking a current item. I'm gonna load all the flags, which sorry, not load, but I'm gonna get the model for the flag, which is related to the current item, and I will try to load any record in the model, and if it's loaded, then this will return true. If it's not loaded, it will return false. Ref. Oh yeah, I need to use model, not item. Okay, so now it's true, but if I switch to a different, I don't think I have number 2, or let's say this girlfriend here. For girlfriend it's false.
Because nobody flagged this item.
Not me. Oh yeah, by the way, it's...
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly, not you.
No, you actually are correct. If I put a debug in here, okay, that's a complex query there, but it's important that it's not using my user ID. So it doesn't matter if it's me or anyone else flagged the item. I think I need to fix that by adding a condition saying user ID equals this API out model ID. So we only want it to be hidden if I myself have flagged this item. And finally, I'm converting this to if not, then this sidebar is appearing, and also all this stuff under here is also needs to be executed only if it's not flagged already. Yeah, and because we don't have anything on the sidebar now, it now says simply sidebar, because it was like that in a template. I can delete that, so it's empty. Why is it empty though?
Yeah, because you flagged it. You're back at you're looking at item number 1 and you flagged item number 1.
Yeah. Okay, if I go to girlfriend, okay, I still see this. If I flag it, this appears. If I refresh the page, it's not appearing. And if I looked in here, there should be 3 records. Okay, this is where before we added this this appearance, and this is the new one. So everything works as you wanted, right?
Absolutely. We could do one little more improvement just to be on the safe side. Instead of save, we could update, use the function update. So even if somebody managed to flag an item twice for whatever reason, it wouldn't create a second entry in the database.
Okay.
If I'm right.
No, update. Update is an old version. We're not using update anymore.
Okay.
Only saved.
Okay.
This is exactly the reason why we're not using the update on the model, because it was too confusing for people. They thought it's update, but sometimes it might insert a record.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do here, if this is what you want to do, Armin.
No, we don't have to. I thought it would be a good idea, but we could add the condition, of course, as well.
Yeah, if we add condition does 2 things. First of all, it sets this field by default to the ID as specified, but also if we try load, and if we try to load anything, it will also only load this record.
Yes.
And now, if we call save, if it has been already loaded, it will simply update the record. But if it wasn't, then it will create a new record. Okay, let's test on our last item here, which is a wallet. Click flag this item and it disappears. So this code still works, but it will not create multiple entries in here.
Good. So the next thing on my wish list now, okay, we can flag an item, we see all the details. Let's say a user has some kind of hint he wants to give to the guy that lost something. For example, he wants to comment on the item that he says, oh, have you tried the official lost and found office in your town? Here is the website and here is the phone number. So I would like to add comments to the item's detail page.
Okay, let's work on the comments. But unlike simply just adding them in here, I wanted to create a separate view which would be reusable as much as possible. And right now I'm not thinking about too much of the reuse. I'm just want it to implement a separate class, but later on we will convert it into a whole new add-on and show you how this is done. So for now it's just lib view comment, simple view. Okay. Okay, and I usually start by adding some sort of lorem ipsum in here and adding the comment to the details. So it would be here, view comment. And we want that to go into the comment section. Let's see if it works. No, because I misspelled. Okay, it should be. I'll simply change it to no comments. You might ask why I have certain tags with the capital letter and some are without. And my usual approach is that if I'm inserting a view inside a certain area, then I use a capital letter. If it's just a field like a title or description, then it's a low letter.
Okay.
So it's comments. Okay, and I have lorem ipsum instead of the comment page.
I have one question before we go forward. If you go back to the details page, please.
Yeah, okay.
We have there like this add view comment, comma null, comma comments. We have three arguments. And the third one specifies the spot in our template. Now, when you scroll above a little bit, we used four parameters on the first add: view, null, item, and again item. Why is it 4 there?
The fourth is the template for this new view, where it gets its template from. So I was showing, you know how we can create a view and then create a new template for that view, and inside default template we could specify use that file as a template.
Yes.
Okay, and also if we specify the last argument as array here, such as array view item, we could also do it without redefining the method.
Okay.
But this, if we don't specify an array, it has then been it still uses the same view, but it takes the template from the parent. So it goes here and it grabs this bit over here and it uses this area as a template.
Okay.
Okay, so the concept here is to use one template file for 2 or more views.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So everything what's outside is going into the page, but this stuff which is inside goes inside our view here.
Okay.
Okay, just to
So it's a template in a template.
Yeah, just to introduce some diversity. Yeah, I have to warn you. I think if you already use some region for the view, you probably won't be able to use it for another view, but you can use it slightly differently if you specify an array here and you specify a file. Let's say page details. Page item details. If you use this, then it will load the file. It will not use the parent for the template. Instead, we're going to load a file separately and again extract this area of an item. So it achieves the same result, but does it slightly differently. So if there's no array, it takes this area from the parent, whatever
Yes.
a parent could be. So I could change parents templates, use the same view in different in different environments, and it will adopt to the proper contents. But if I specify the file here, then file will be loaded separately, and it will extract just one tag. Okay, that's it for now. So I'll go back to my comment thing here, and what I probably will need is first I need a lister, and then I need ability to post something new. Okay, and for comments probably I will also need a template. View comment. Okay, will be called comment.
A lister is what we need.
Lister, right. And for lister, let's again use the same technique. I'll call ref comments. Okay, we simply use the same technique here. And the next thing would be a form, which goes into a new comment tag. And in form, for now, I'm just gonna add field text comment. Next, I'm going to create a template. Lost and found. Comment HTML. I will probably, it will be something similar to this here, so I'll use that as a base and clean it up a little bit. Again, maybe not. So start new. Okay, and we'll use this ID, which is by default receives any unique ID, which is necessary if I will want to reload the comments. Then I'll need a tag for prev comments, and because I'm really reusing that for lister, I'm gonna add something inside which would be repeated. Next, I need a form, new comment, I think. Okay.
The tag is not closed.
New comment, prev comments. New comment. Yeah, for a form has its own template, so we don't need to do anything inside here. Okay, finally, set source. This is for lister complaints that it wants some sort of source. How about I show you how to use static source? Okay. So not only models can be used with lister, but you can also use arrays, such as title, comment 1. Okay, this needs to be array as well. Comment 2 and comment 3. Okay, we have our lister, and it says comment, comment, comment. Instead of that, we need to display title now. Let's use h4, title, like that. Okay, so we have comments in there, and we can also have a field for description. This is comment body. Okay, so far it's visual. It's not actually doing things correctly. I mean, it's not working with database. You might ask why this is for comment number 3, because there wasn't anything comment number 3. The thing is that lister is reusing its template, and if new value for description is not specified, it's gonna have the same value as before. So if it's a field, it needs to be listed either empty or like this. Normally it's not a problem because we read data from database, which always returns a list of all the rows. Okay, next form. Yeah, we have a form. Let's add a button to the form. Post. Now, we probably need to create a model for the comment and associate it with both the lister and the form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's first create a model, and we'll need the database structure in here as well. New table. We shouldn't add user ID like this. Okay, user ID. Title. Do we need title or simply comment?
We need an item ID as well.
All right, item ID, which I should make reference. Okay, sits there very nicely. And should we just put comment, which is text, and it's all.
And we have a title.
Title as well, yeah. Okay.
You're right. Sorry, Romans. You're right. A comment doesn't need a title.
Oops. Okay, so simply comment, which is text.
Exactly.
I will synchronize next. Take this and put inside our migration file. So if you already have a database, you simply need to import only this file, and it will add the differences. Okay, next we'll need to define a comment model. Oops. Comment. User. Item. Type is text. Okay, so far everything is very good. Next, because now I'm starting thinking about how to make this comment universal, and I would like to create a set model for the whole view, which will associate the comment view with the model of my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I will call parent first, and then I'm going to set this model to lister. Oh, let's say L, M here, M here as well. Set model, list model. Or we could even do it like this. Okay, so when we call set model, it could be either an object or a string. And if it's a string, we're calling a parent set model, and it will return surely an object, which we're gonna pass inside the lister, and also form. Also, because these two objects are defined in a different method, we need to define them as a property. Lister public form in here. I don't need this source anymore. And this form equals F. Okay. And finally, we need to call setModel of our comment view now in this file. setModel comment. Okay, very good. What do you think? And we don't need to add this field anymore. User, item, and the comment post. Plus also, if there would be anything in the database, it would be displayed because we have a lister in here. By user. Let's make ability to submit a form, and we will need to do it here. If this form is okay. Is everything clear so far?
So far, everything is clear.
Any of our listeners have any questions?
You know, you can always type them in the chat window.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's very just pick any user and anything and blah blah. I can post it. I see this is being displayed, and if I refresh the page, I see there's my comment. It says commented by record1, which is user number 1. Great.
So just to tidy that up a little bit, of course, we shouldn't display the user and the item ID in this drop-down menu. We should set both variables in the model to system.
Yeah, and more importantly, it also should show me comments for item number 3, but it's showing for the comment number 1. We will make them a condition inside our details page. This and so far nothing would have been changed. The same thing, but as we call add condition, item ID equals get ID, and those fields will start to disappear. So we first of all, we're not seeing that comment anymore, and also it's not being listed in the form. If I go to this record number 1, I see it's here, blah blah. And of course we also don't want a user to be listed, so we also add condition on the user ID. This APA model ID.
Why is it now? Why are the fields now disappearing just because we added the condition?
Because I'm not logged with the user ID 1. The user I'm logged in is user 3.
Yes, I understand that, but why does the fields disappear?
Actually, that's incorrect. We shouldn't add a condition for that, but we need to get element send default value. I should be able to see other users' comments, but maybe simply set. I'll get back to your question in a moment.
Yeah. I don't think we need this get element at all. The only thing, the condition that we need to set is that I only see comments that are commenting on that very special item.
Yeah. I'm just thinking what's okay. Let's leave that for now. The reason why it disappears is when you add a condition for item ID to a specific value, so it's not less or more. So,
yeah.
If I would add more, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Then what system thinks is, because you can't really choose, because the condition says item ID have to be this.
And then it doesn't give me the option to choose, of course.
It doesn't give you an option, because if you even if you select something else, you won't be able to save it.
Yeah. Okay.
And okay, let's keep that default value. Next thing is inside comment PHP. For now, I'm gonna add user ID here. Oops. User ID, simply to see who have posted the comment. Okay, by ID equals. Okay, so ID equals 1. I will try now to post a new comment. Another comment. And I don't want this to see this field here, so I also need to hide that or make it system. System true. Okay.
I think we shouldn't we move that system to the model itself, because we probably will never ever show the user ID.
And this is our new comment here. I don't like that it's when it's used for the form, it's preloaded to the last element in there, which is happening because we use the same model for the lister, and then for the form, yeah. Maybe load. Reset.
Okay. No, you can't. But then it's not updated when.
Okay. Let's leave that for now. The reason why I didn't move in here, you see inside the comment, I'm using the model, but I have no assumptions about what this model is or what field does it have. So if let's say I go into the model for the comments and add a title here, then this field will be properly displayed in here, and will also probably be reflected in the templates. One other thing while I'm here, where we're referencing the user, let's say what we want first name instead of just record number 1. Let's make it comment by Armin, comment by demo, so that looks a bit better. And our association with the item works fine. So now that I'm looking at this view comment, it looks pretty generic. It doesn't have any assumptions about what model I'm using. It is using the template, which we can fine-tune to the way we want it to look. But this code in here is pretty much generic, which means we can convert it better into the add-on and reuse it in other places, such as commenting something on the users and so on.
Mm-hmm. How would we do that? Maybe you can explain a little bit how add-ons work. What is the background theory about add-ons?
Okay, so sometime when we released 4.1 of Agile Toolkit, we also started to move a lot of functionality from the core into the add-ons, like file store and some typical forms, as well as some grid columns and so on. And the idea of a file store is that it's first of all, it's not sitting inside ATK4 repository, so it is separate from the core. That means there might be multiple implementations of a certain add-on or certain functionality, and you can decide which one you would like to go with. It also means that anyone, any user who creates an add-on can publish it for others to use. Doesn't necessarily need anyone's approvals. Could simply put it in a zip file or upload to GitHub and share with others. And we're also trying to make add-ons as powerful as any internal object. So add-ons could be pretty much anything inside Agile Toolkit. The only thing for add-on is that they shouldn't conflict with anything else, and this is why we're using namespaces for add-ons. So when you create your own new add-on, you will need to use a namespace. Right, so I have this folder, ATK add-ons. I'm going to create a new subfolder here. Not the file, but folder. Should we call it comments?
Yes, why not?
Okay, comments. And inside the comments, I can create folder lib. And as usually, inside the lib would be the folder view, and inside the view would be the folder comment. And I'll move this, the comment file, comments, lib, view. I'm gonna move it here. Oops, goes in there. Okay, now if first of all, if I refresh this, it will not work because the file is missing now. Okay, it is found here. So I need to change only two things for any object to start working as add-on. First of all, I need to add a namespace. Namespace should be the same as the folder name, which is comments. Then, of course, because I'm using namespace, I'll need to specify that this object is coming from the core namespace and not from comments. This is our usual view, not the view from the comments. If anywhere else I'm using any class names, I should prepend them with a backslash as well. And the second thing I need to do is to, when I'm including a view comment, I should type comments / view comment. Now, if I'm using it inside an add function, this is a /. And if it's a PHP syntax, it uses the backslash.
Okay.
And the comments are back. So now I'm using the properly developed add-on, and it shows perfectly my comments.
Would the model for the comments also be moved in the add-on folder?
Certainly, we can do that. And then, so you're thinking that a user might define his own model by extending the comments from.
Well, just that if it's an add-on that I wanted to create for Agile Toolkit, I would expect that everything of my add-on is living in its own folder in ATK add-ons.
Right. No, what I'm just suggesting is, of course, I'm gonna, do the model here and put the comment inside, but also it might be the case where you want some customized field for your your comments inside your project.
Yes.
And this is where this idea about inheriting it and changing the fields comes from. For now, I'm just going to move the model comment as well. So this file is gone. Similarly, as with view, I'll specify the namespace here. That's a backslash. Okay, it's not working anymore because I need to specify the slash here as well. Comments, view model. Comment. Sorry, it should be comment. No.
Now the folder is called comments.
Class model comment. Right, I just was a spelling mistake. So now the model is also moved into an add-on. The only thing which is still not in comments is our view. Should we also move the view inside the model?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to create a folder templates in here. Now, it will not automatically pick this folder, so I will need to add it manually, but I'll show how to do that. Okay. Lost and found. View. Comment goes inside here. Okay, now back to the, I don't know what happens here. To this application, it says the view comment is no longer found, and it's not looking inside this add-on folder. We need to tell Agile Toolkit to also look inside add-ons/templates. Now I don't remember the exact syntax. I'll try to think of some add-on which already do that. And I think it was grid order. Yeah, it has templates in there. Just while we're looking at this grid order, this is an add-on which allows you to reorder elements inside grid. Yeah, so it's in its own namespace. Any add-on you find inside AJAX4, you're free to use, free of charge. It's completely free. You can also create your add-ons. You can either publish them directly or push them back into AJAX4 add-ons. You could use it under any license of your choice. There's no restriction of any kind. So add-ons is where I'd like to community to innovate and put some other things. This is the way how it's what we need to do to use the template. Probably we'll need to put here. Okay, add-on. So here is what happens. First of all, we ask API to find comments add-on and give us back the object for this location. And once we get this object for this location, we will add additional resource inside, which is a templates. Let's see if this works for us. Yeah, it works. So before actually using the view comment, we have included a necessary folder inside the search path.
Okay. When we include add-ons, wasn't there something in the front-end file that we needed to do as well?
When we included what?
Add-ons that wasn't there like a some setting in the front-end file that needed to set as well? But maybe I'm mixing that up.
No, because we simply specify comments slash, and when it says slash and it adds a function, it knows to go and start looking for the add-ons, and the first location.
Okay.
And I think in the only location it checks is AJAX4/add-ons. But again, like with any resource in Agile Toolkit, you could specify multiple folders containing add-ons.
Yeah.
If you have too many add-ons, you can spread them. And my plans were that you download the initial structure of Agile Toolkit with an example, and then you should be able to use some sort of user interface to download and install additional add-ons.
Okay.
And it should be pretty easy for you to do so. One other note I have to make is, you see, because we only adding add-ons like this, there is no way how add-on can automatically start executing some magical functions and change the behavior of our application simply because we put it into some sort of folder. So it's not really, it's more like a library, but if we add the add-on inside the front-end class, that means every execution of your application will also add some sort of controller from the add-on inside the application. You can then use all sorts of different hooks and callbacks to modify the behavior of Agile Toolkit other objects.
Mm-hmm. So, talking about controllers, so I can do add-ons for controllers, pages, views, like for everything?
Yeah, so far we did a view and a model. We also moved the template, but we did that by extending the list of resources. You could also application you probably won't be able to do because application is the first object to be initialized. You will need to manually include it.
Yeah. Okay, the last question was, can I use add-ons for like controllers, pages, and views, or how does it work?
Currently, you can use it for models. You can also use it for views, as you saw, and you can also use it for controllers, which is pretty much like any other object. In addition to that, you can use them for fields. Let me show you how you would use it for fields. So if you have a form like this one, you could do this form, and normally you would type something like text here, right? But you could do comments / text, which means it will load the field from an add-on, from the specified namespace.
Okay.
Also, when you have grid, you could do grid add column, and as a first argument, instead of specifying text or money, you could do comments / and then any type defined inside your own file, inside your own add-on. In addition, you know how the model field can have display property?
Yes.
You can still use that and specify add-ons in there. So you simply need to use /.
Okay.
Okay. Finally, the one last thing is probably pages. And at the moment, the release of Agile Toolkit, which is 2.1, it doesn't support pages. The only way how you can include any pages is if you extend the way how pages being searched. Let me show you the Finder here. Remember, we looked at this bit here, and I told that the pages are being located in that folder. And if the page is not there, it will not be included and triggered from the URL. Now you can extend that and say, I also have a couple of pages in my add-on, similarly how we did with the template. It's and it will work. So you can also extend pages in this way. But I'm in version 2.2, there's going to be a way how you can take a certain subset of pages and divert it to your add-on. So you say any page starting with file admin is going to go inside my add-on.
Okay.
So that also will be possible. But not right now. So yeah, pretty much anything can be done in an add-on, and on top of that, there's lots of different hooks and callbacks you can use to modify the functionality of existing Agile Toolkit base objects.
Okay, so back to our add-on of the comments form. So we completely integrated as an add-on now.
Yeah. The last thing we really need to do is create a README file for that add-on, and possibly also a version file. So the version control of add-ons, it is planned, but it's not fully implemented because add-on is something new for Agile Toolkit. Some things are not yet fully ironed out, but README file is definitely essential. So if you create an add-on, okay, let me get rid of this. So lost and found ATK add-ons comments. Now this is a really nice add-on. Why not now create an archive of that and share with others, or put it inside GitHub with a separate repository. Some other people might find it really useful. And if you do something like that, if you build your own add-on and you think others could take advantage of that, be sure to send an email to people in the development, the Agile Toolkit development group, and announce your add-on. And other people will definitely appreciate that.
Good. I think, but we still haven't spoken about FileStore yet. But I think now we are already over 1.5 hours in the tutorial. Do you think we should still go for the FileStore?
No, I think we should end it here.
Okay, so what we achieved today is we added a details page to the Lost and Found project, and we can flag items if they seem to be inappropriate, and we can add comments if we have something useful information that we want to give regarding this item. So we ran a little bit late, so the file store and uploading functionality will have to wait until the next tutorial. That's it for me. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and goodbye from my side, and back to Romans.
Yeah, goodbye from me as well. Thanks for watching.